Oh,
It's Earth Defense Force 4.1, The Shadow of New Despair. An awfully self-serious title for a very, very silly game. I've never actually played one of these games.
I have always had a soft spot for the EDF series, especially this one. The fifth one is arguably the better game, but this one has running commentary from your team back at base. And it is done in the most earnest 50s sci-fi movie way that it just works so well. I love the EDF series in the same way that I love the Dynasty Warriors series. Like they don't do anything like incredibly special or different, but it's done well.
Yeah, I can definitely see where the comparison lies.
Deploying.
Okay. Now it looks like we're both going in.
Yeah, this looks like it might
I hope.
work. So one thing I should say as well, if you... Yep, there we go. If you start finding yourself munched by an ant, just start firing. You will kill the ant, hopefully.
Love the add-on of hopefully.
The citizens are being attacked.
And there they are.
Save them.
Rampaging ants.
What's going on? Why are there giant
To save a mother
I tried shooting the citizens and my bullets ricochet off of them.
Yeah. This is not a game in which friendly fire is a thing. I think you can get blown away by rocket launchers. But that's about it. The boxes that you'll see, weapon obviously is a weapon crate, which can give you a new or upgraded weapon. Armor will increase the amount of hit points that you have once we complete the stage. And health, health.
Health is self-explanatory. I found the jump button. Do we need to, like, find new weapons before we can use them? Because I saw that we had the ability to switch what our starting weapons are.
Yeah, what will happen is you won't gain access to any weapons until you finish the stage. So if you're picking them up, then that's just giving you, if you complete the stage, you get the ability to use them. Until then, though, yeah, you don't really... Like, pick them up if you see them. Great. I think it's a while before you actually get any good weaponry anyway. Most of the ones that we'll get are going to be variations on rocket launchers or machine guns. You don't get much of the really good stuff for a while.
Ranger 1, report the situation.
We engaged with giant insects and defeated a number of them.
What did you say? That's
Seems like the gameplay in this game is very, very, very loud.
Oh, yes. Also, if you fire at buildings enough with rocket launchers, you can bring them down.
Nice. Firing at vending machines makes them, like, flip around like we're in a, like, light gun game.
Yep, a lot of the environment is destructible in some way or another. If not by us, then by the bugs.
Some must have survived.
The graphics are terrible, but everything is very ambitious.
Oh yeah, this is a game that is incredibly charming.
Yeah. Wasn't this, like, originally a simple 2000 game or something?
Yeah, the original was. I can't remember what the original title of it was, but yeah, it started off, this and Onechanbara were like the two big successes of the Simple series. And they, the first, well, they were released in the West, or at the very least in Europe. The original version of this was released under the name Global Defense Force, which then got changed to EDF. And Onechanbara just bizarrely, can't imagine why, kept getting new games, which some of them started getting released in the West as well. But they kept the original title for some reason. But yeah, these started off as very low budget games and arguably kept that way.
Yeah, this looks very low budget. The graphics are quite bad.
Yeah. But then you look at the number of enemies that you get on screen at any one time without any dips in the frame rate, and you're like, well, shit, they put the money where it was needed.
Yeah, totally. Like, since it's been such a low-budget series, people expect it to look bad, but they don't necessarily expect it to play so smoothly. Like, the old EDF games had so much lag.
Yeah, no, this is... I don't know if it's... I think it's only 30 FPS, but despite the fact there are literally hundreds of enemies on screen at any one time, I don't think it ever really stutters or lags for any significant amount.
It hasn't so far.
No, it's ridiculously good for... Like, they knew where to put the money.
Yeah. These enemies have a lot of polygons, and we have a lot of our own soldiers wandering around.
Yep. And that's before the... there will be, like, kaiju-sized enemies that show up. There's a few stages, quite a few stages, actually, where there will be, like, the entire sky will be swarming with UFOs.
Oh, nice.
And it does not lag, it does not stutter, it does not slow down.
Spoilers, the bugs are affiliated with aliens.
Keep the giant creatures away from the...
That's the thing, because, like, up until the 5th game, I think it was, all of these games were essentially in the same continuity. This is like the 4th time that the aliens have come back with bugs. And humanity...
Does that mean all bugs are aliens in this universe?
That's a very good question. I don't know. It would explain a few things.
I'm asking profound philosophical questions of EDF.
Yeah, it would explain a lot. Australia, for one thing. It's actually really weird you say that, because I did read a thing like a couple of days ago that suggested that because bugs are so fundamentally different from most other forms of life on planet Earth, it's entirely possible that they did hitch a ride on an asteroid that crash landed, and that's how we got insects.
I could see that.
It's one of those things where you're like, I don't know if that's true, but it sounds cool enough that I kind of want to believe it.
Yeah, although octopods have no, they have no evolutionary ancestors. So functionally, they are aliens.
Yeah.
Because we don't know how they evolved.
Just one of those things.
Probably just means we haven't found them, though.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where you start off going, oh, that's an interesting fact, and then before you know it, you're like 14 hours into a deep dive and nothing makes sense anymore.
Yeah, you deconstructed humanity and the world is a terrifying Lovecraftian place.
Oh, you're acting like it wasn't
It'll never
always
be the same.
case.
Well, yeah. But more so. You have a reason to be afraid. Not just the horrors of living under capitalism. I've always said that anything that has ever been fictionally said about aliens literally exists in the world of insects. Like, bugs may as well be the inspiration for all science fiction, which I always found very cool. Like, born pregnant, the whole shrivel thing, aphids do that. The entire xenomorph life cycle is the average life cycle of any given wasp.
Yep. Terrifying.
Yep. Anything that anyone has ever come up with as a terrifying thing that an alien does, a bug did it. And the creator probably didn't know. They probably thought they were being creative.
Well, look at me just making these little scurrying guys. Isn't that oh my god, what is going on there?
And spiders invented hydraulics. Their limbs are controlled via hydraulics. And bombardier beetles invented firearms.
Yep.
Wasps are wonderful. I listened to a podcast about wasps yesterday.
Shoot! Save the citizens!
I recently learned that bugs parasitized by wasps can survive. Like, there are species of wasps that parasitize a bug and don't kill it in the process.
Yes, sir!
And also, that if you remove the parasite wasp, the bug will often survive the periodization, despite the fact that many of their organs have been consumed in the process.
Now that is some straight up horror movie shit.
It really is. Like, there's a spider that will get parasitized by wasps, and it will literally mind control the spider and force it to do things that make it a better host. But if you remove the parasite, one day before it matures completely and kills the host, the spider will make a full recovery and recover its mind and get back to doing regular spider things. Like nothing ever happened.
Regular spider things, but like, I don't know, tax evasion.
Yeah. So you know spiders.
Just stuff, you know, just hanging out.
I named my profile Salticid after Jumping Spider's scientific name. I might be a nerd.
If it makes you feel any better, Raptus is Latin for the word screwed, so...
Nice. Are we supposed to just be blowing up these buildings? Are we, like, worse than the bugs ourselves? Is that what the commentary is?
Probably. I mean...
Is this Starship Troopers?
I mean, it's not too far. I would not be... I don't know for certain, but I would not be surprised if it turned out that, like, someone had just gotten really into Starship Troopers in their 20s.
I mean, it certainly reads that way. I've never even seen Starship Troopers.
Oh, it's great.
And I know all about... Yeah.
I think I've mentioned it before, but it came out back when I was in high school. And now I should point out that at least, you know, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, in the UK, we looked at that kind of jingoistic mindset with deep suspicion. Obviously, things have changed in the years since. But most people in the UK looked at it and knew instinctively it was a satire. Like, we got the movie, you know? Whereas obviously in the States, the reception was a little more, shall we say, mixed.
Yeah, I'm sure people were actually recruited into the military by watching that movie.
Oh, 100%. I can't remember where it was I saw, but I know definitely, like, back in the day, they did see a significant jump in registrations to join the armed forces in the States. But
they saw that I'm doing my part, GIF, and they actually decided to do their part.
100%, yeah. But, like, completely ignored the fact that the entire thing is a comment on fascism and blind allegiance to flags.
Yeah, totally.
And yeah, like, as I said, in the UK, we got it. Like, I think I was like 15, 16 when it came out, and I got it instinctively. And then there was this guy that I knew.
There's always one.
Everyone who saw that film, either, you know, today or back in the day or whenever, they know this guy. They know this guy who saw it and took it completely at face value. And he actually joined the army. He wanted to join the Air Force. And just wound up joining the army by, I don't know, by mistake or because he just didn't have the grades or what, but yeah, it turns out you can't rocket jump. Well, you can rocket jump in the game, just not very well.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you can also change your weaponry.
Yeah. I just don't know what weapons are good.
Yeah. Rocket launchers and machine guns are usually quite good. The fusion blaster is really great, but you don't get any reloads for it until you get the upgraded versions. Sniper rifles aren't particularly that good. They're very powerful, but they don't... you know, they're very slow and they don't have any collateral AoE damage, which is really what you need. Missile launchers are fairly good. Grenades aren't that great. Special weapons can be, like, literally whatever. They can either be fantastic or they can be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, my starting gun is still serving me very well, but I might try this missile launcher over my secondary. Obviously, Gotta change our color.
Yep. If you're using
What is a
the
video
air,
game if you don't change your color?
if you're using the air tortoise, be sure to aim slightly up because the rocket shoots forward and then drops before picking up. It is very possible to hit yourself with your own rocket just by firing normally.
Fun.
Yeah, as I was saying,
I'm sure I'll learn that lesson.
Dwayne tried to my friend tried to get into the Air Force, was knocked back, wound up joining the army, and shot himself in the leg with a bullet during training.
Classy.
During training.
That's unique level
Yeah.
of being good at army.
Dwayne is the best at armying. And, yeah, he, I don't specifically know what happened to him during his illustrious career in the armed forces, mainly because that was a point, after that was, in high school, and, you know what happens when you leave high school and you're like, oh, I don't actually need to be around these people anymore, because you're not really friends with anyone. It's just they happen to be in your area and you share classes with them, so you're making the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah. Graduation day is usually the day you figure out that all your friends from your entire life have sucked.
Yeah, I always say that you don't really make proper friends with people until you're 19. And you realize, oh wait, I can actually choose to be around people now. This is great. But yeah, we lost contact, and then we met up and started hanging out again, and then we lost contact again when he set my PC on fire. Different story. But
He's the best at computering too.
yeah, he ruined his leg and fucked up my PC. So I don't have maybe the best impression of the guy. But yeah, he joined the military because he thought Starship Troopers made it look thick as fuck.
Flunking out of Air Force is particularly embarrassing because that's usually where the fuck-ups go.
That or just from what people have told me, apparently the Marines is full of people that really want to be badasses but are actually kind of dumb.
True, yeah. I mean, they're jarheads. They're famously dumb.
Yeah. They're not employing you for your IQ, they're employing you because you know how to get shit done.
Yeah, and Jarhead is definitely a movie that no one has ever misunderstood and taken as recruitment propaganda.
You know, I kind of want to show him it and just be like, and how does this film make you feel?
Interesting.
Does it make you feel good or attacked? Be honest now.
Supposedly Top Gun is still the single most effective recruitment tool that the military has ever had.
Yep.
To this day.
Top Gun, and there was another film from the 80s as well, and it was a really surprise. It was something like Commando really convinced people to join the army as well. Just so many of those meathead action movies, people were like, fuck yeah, dude! No, that's not really what we were going for with this one, but, you tried.
Yeah, I believe it. 80s military films were frequent. They were all over the place. And almost all of them had commentary about why the military is to be criticized.
Yeah.
And almost all of that commentary was ignored.
Did you ever actually watch the director's commentary for Predator?
Interesting.
Because...
I mean, you know me, I've never even seen Predator without commentary.
Because in that, there's the famous scene where they all start screaming and just firing blindly at the jungle. And that was done just to show the complete impotence of the military.
Yeah.
At the very end, they're like, yeah, these are completely trained badasses, super cool soldiers, and they're reduced to screaming and flailing like animals. When you get down to it, the military is just a bunch of trained, no better than a bunch of trained monkeys. And I had absolutely no idea about that until I actually watched the commentary, and I was like, well, shit.
I thought big man shoot gun cool penis replacement.
We will shoot lead out of our peepees, and it will be awesome. And this after like 45 minutes of just meat hitting meat, you know. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to like rewatch a whole bunch of 80s action movies with a more critical eye. Because, like, obviously...
Yeah, the entire 80s is literally the Gundam meme.
Yeah. Because so many of them are, like... Yes, obviously, like, a whole bunch of them are just, like, let's see big, burly lads hitting each other for 40 minutes. That's going to be fantastic. But, yeah. I mean, RoboCop, Predator, arguably parts of Terminator. They all have, like...
I would say definitely parts of Terminator, because James Cameron was very, very political in his filmmaking.
Yeah. Also, Platoon. Like, that was...
Platoon was protested by Vietnam veterans.
Yeah, only found out recently.
For precisely that reason.
It was done as an answer to John Wayne's Green Berets movie.
John Wayne was a Nazi, to quote MDC, hardcore band from the 80s.
Motherfuck him and John Wayne. To quote Public Enemy.
Nice.
John Wayne wanted to do a pro-Vietnam War movie while the war was still going on.
That sounds like a John Wayne move.
Yep. Because he was bored of all these pussy-faced commies doing all their, commie anti-war bullshit. He wanted something that would get people to willingly sign up. And for a while it was, it was effective. It was also patient zero for movies that had involvement from the US military. That was the first one.
I was just about to bring that up.
Yep, that was the first one that started it off. They had They had a few basically like, okay, we don't want you doing this, or this. But other than that, yeah, we'll happily let you use equipment, bases, facilities, whatever. And Oliver Stone apparently absolutely fucking despised the movie. He thought it was absolutely atrocious, just not just from a filmmaking perspective, but also from the message that it was giving, which was war is a badass, cool thing to get into. You should do it right now.
Totally.
So he went and made Platoon explicitly to challenge that idea, which is why everyone in it dies horribly and nothing is good forever. I need to go back and watch both of those movies back to back just to see what was going on there.
Yeah, I need to see them at all.
Yeah, because obviously, like, fuck John Wayne.
Totally.
And to a lesser extent, Oliver Stone for the fact that 90% of everything in JFK is bullshit. It's an entertaining movie, but, not his best.
Yeah, I was going to say Oliver Stone's kind of a chode as well, but less of a chode than John Wayne, that's for sure.
I mean,
also, sexy ladies in mech suits just arrived.
Oh yes, the wing divers, the goddesses of victory. Drekkie asking, wasn't John Wayne also a draft dodger? Yes, he was.
Oh yeah.
He basically said, like, okay, so gonna do 3 more movies. I've got 3 more movies under contract, and then I'm gonna get into World War II. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna just 5 more movies, guys. I promise, I swear, everything's gonna be cool, everything's gonna be groovy. I'm gonna be over there, and 3 more movies, and it just kept going and going and going. Meanwhile, fucking Clark Gable is a tank commander. What'd you call him? Who was it that was in It's a Wonderful Life?
Jimmy Neutron.
James Stewart. Yeah, James Stewart.
Thank you.
Yeah, he's a tail gunner in a fucking bomber. Like, one of the most dangerous things that you can do in World War II. And he's like, just put me over there, boys. I'll go over and I'll kill the Jerrys.
Yeah.
Possibly even said it just like that. I don't know. I wasn't there. And John Wayne is just like they talk about it in Behind the Bastards. It's like World War II was arguably like the one war in which, being a draft dodger wasn't really cool to do.
Yeah, seriously, like that's the one time the military did something good was when they were killing Nazis.
Yeah, it's the one where, like, dodging the draft for Vietnam, World War One, absolutely no problem. World War Two, nah, you got to go fuck up some Nazis.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yep, getting right on it, boys. Any minute now. Any minute now."
Spiders are here. These are golden orb weavers.
Yes, and we need to
Beautiful.
we need to rescue the sexy mech suit babes.
We sure do. There was a big fake scare a few years ago where they were like, Japanese spiders are invading America and they're 6 feet long and they'll kill you and your family. And no one gave a shit because we're in apocalypse world and like big spiders, who cares?
Yeah.
But they were golden orb weavers that were ballooning over to America.
It's like, okay, just like one crisis at a time, if you don't mind.
Yep. But also killer bees were fake, and basically anytime you've ever been told bugs are coming to kill you, bugs have not been coming to kill you.
Which is kind of disappointing.
In a way, yes. I kind of would want there to be gigantic, like, building-sized spiders roaming the streets.
I mean, fundamentally, mankind has always wanted insect overlords. It's where, like, we want someone who gets shit done. And if it's
You're speaking my language.
If it is an ant the size of a camper van, then so be it.
Yep. Does shooting the webs break the webs?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess we're gonna have to do that.
Yep. It will also send the spider tumbling down, which makes it easier to shoot.
Nice.
Because this is, like, first couple of stages were relatively easy. This is where things start getting more difficult.
Yeah.
Also, that guy's dead.
Oh no. I like how spider webs are stronger than buildings.
Yep.
And I like how that would be scientifically accurate because spider silk is stronger than steel.
Yep. But yeah, this is the first stage where we start coming into contact with enemies that can actually take some punishment.
Yeah, these things are much tougher than the ants, that's for sure.
Psionic link.
There will be different types of ant that show up. Fire ants are fucking horrible because they actually shoot out fire. And there are multiple different types of spider. Like the enemy variety is decent, but you have to remember that fundamentally this is basically an upgraded version of a PS2 game, and this is an upgraded version of a PS3 game. Like we are playing.
I do like that we can jib the spiders. I jibbed one of the spiders, and that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, any enemy in the game, if you hit it hard enough, will explode into chunks.
Hell yeah.
They got up!
You'll notice that some of the unoccupied webs also have the wing divers in them. I don't know if we have to, but like this, if you listen to the actual dialogue, they tell you to rescue them. So, worth your shit.
Yeah, I was going to say, they introduced the Valkyries at the very end of the last level after everything was already dead.
Yep.
And then in this level, they're pathetic victims. They never show us the Valkyries being cool. At least they haven't yet.
Yeah, the wing divers do get much cooler. You can actually play as them. In the equipment screen, it gives you an option to change your class. There's 4 different classes: fencer, wing diver, marine, and I forget what the other one is off the top of my head. And they've all got different weapons, abilities, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I would try out wing diving. I don't think I've unlocked it yet.
You should have class equipment. Ranger, wing diver, air raider, and fencer.
Choose a class. Wing diver.
Fencers have gigantic, like, hammers, shields, Gatling guns, but they are incredibly slow.
With the power
Air raiders are really more of a support class. They call down airstrikes and vehicles and so forth. Wing divers.
Yeah, you can afford to be a support class in co-op, though.
Yeah. Wing divers are very, like, death from above, essentially. And rangers are just good all-rounders.
Yeah, Ranger seems like the correct choice, but you gotta try out Wing Diver. We'll do one mission with the Wing Diver and then probably call it for now. You don't want to do too much EDF in a single sitting.
Oh yeah, this is all the missions in this is like 60 or 70 missions, and they are like none of them should take more than like 10 minutes. It's a really good bite-sized chunks.
They're also very, very samey, which is fine.
That too,
but
yeah. There are some...
you don't want to do too much of it at once.
Yeah, they do mix things up where it'll be like, okay, now there's a giant kaiju attacking. Now there's spaceships coming in, which are like really tough. You need to take them out. Now you need to go into an underground base. So, like, the majority of the stages are exactly the same. I'm not going to lie. But they do mix things up decently enough that you're never quite doing the same thing all the time.
Wing divers are trained to defeat giant insects on land, but a giant insect that can capture wing divers has appeared.
Thank you for the info. Random plot dump guy.
Yeah, you can just, like, you never get to see any of your crew back at base, but you just know it's, like, serious scientific man with a pipe. Don't worry, I'm taking down the web. There you go.
Yep. And I get to break it as well while I'm in there.
Yep.
I saved my fellow fairy.
Anytime you get picked up or stuck, the answer is always just shoot harder.
The enemy is closing in.
Slow me down! Hurry!
This is Ranger 6. We are fighting giant insects. They made a web and are catching people.
This guy just called spiders insects. This game is canceled.
Not even the right type of bug.
Not even close. Their evolutions diverged many millions of years ago. How could you not know that, EDF developer?
I'm sleep snoring you now, Curtis.
There's a requisite joke for no one.
Rescue the people caught in the web. Don't leave them behind, no matter what.
Don't leave them behind no matter what, but you will not be punished if you leave them to die.
Yeah. It's actually, where is it?
This plasma launcher has gigantic explosions, but doesn't seem to be doing that much damage.
Yes, sir!
Oh, one sec.
My character makes the worst noises when grabbed in a web.
It was it's a lot worse in one of the other games. Can't remember which one it is. Unsurprisingly, all the games kind of blur together after a while.
I would imagine.
But one of the games, the wing divers make, shall we say, unfortunately erotic-sounding screams whenever they get grabbed.
Probably intentional, considering that Oni-chan has the same evolutionary ancestor
Oh, 100%.
as this series. Yeah.
Like, giant bugs and scantily clad mech girls in mech armor, like, yeah, that's someone's fetish.
Yep.
But yeah, I was just like, because I played the wing divers in a few missions just because they make it much easier. Most of the time, it just plays the marine. But it was the first time I was using it. Got snagged by a spider, and I was like, I am never going to be able to play this in the same room as another person ever again. Like that.
Yeah, so far, wing divers seem like a fun gimmick,
Yeah.
and probably occasionally the right tool for the job, but overall,
The wing divers or wing diver-like characters are much better in later on, but also in World Brothers, which is one of the more character-based spin-offs. They are like mandatory for some stages just because they're so big and open. But once you unlock some of the later weaponry, or at least the more interesting weaponry for the wing diver, they just wreck house completely.
interesting. And for anyone who doesn't know, World Brothers is the Minecraft-like.
Yes. It was free with PSN 1 month, so I was like, who cares? I'll download it. Free game's a free game. And then I lost like 8 hours to it in one sitting.
Yeah, we might check that one out as well if we end up having a lot of fun with the EDF series.
Yeah. No, World Brothers is, I'd say it's probably the one good quote-unquote game, as in, like, it's the one game that I know other people would probably enjoy. Like, people who aren't, shall we say, like us, who have a higher tolerance for crap than most.
Loading now! There! Don't forget your training! Exterminate them! Understood!
Stop making webs.
You're shooting it in its soft underbelly, but nothing seems to be working.
Yep. Very, very hardy spiders. That's
How dare
a very
you.
thick chitinous layer.
There was a red dot on the radar that was following me, and I was like, where the fuck is that? It was right above me. On the underpass.
Yeah, that keeps happening with the ants.
Yeah. There's a couple of missions where we actually have to infiltrate an ant nest. They are surprisingly tense, because they will literally come out of the goddamn walls like an alien.
I mean, sometimes it seems very unintentional. In a nest, it would be intentional, which sounds cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get to see that mission or something similar. But in other missions, we've seen ants clip through walls and fall out of bounds and stuff.
Yeah.
Because climbing buildings was way too ambitious for this game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just know it got flagged up to QA, and they were just like, it's fine, just fucking let it go. Okay, but it's really looking unprofessional. It's fine.
Money in the right place.
Come on, we've got
as long as they don't clip out of bounds and then make the mission unwinnable.
Yeah. Just someone going like, we've got 15 more games to release this month. Come on.
Yep. Yeah, that was fun. We should play more of this game.
Yep, this is it. It's really good for short bursts. It's not a great game, but it is a lot of fun. Like, I genuinely really enjoy the EDF series just for... And this one in particular, but just because of the voiceover. Like, the running dialogue in the background is just top quality.
Yeah, my first time playing any EDF game, and I liked it. Unsurprisingly. We got to talk about movies, and military fascism, and bugs.
It's like, it's what our fans come here for.
Yeah. Good times were had by all. All right. Thanks so much for joining us. It is about time we moseyed on, but we'll be back.
Laters out.
Have yourselves a good one.